While Suicide Squad 3 is not on the list of prospective DCU films, it is still possible that it will be produced by James Gunn in the future. Because so many characters die in the Suicide Squad comics, it's wonderful that many of the stories have fresh casts. This makes the storylines and artistic interpretations of them feel new, which is quite similar to how the Suicide Squad movie feels. David Ayer, who directed the first Suicide Squad film in 2016, handed over writing and directing duties to Gunn for the Suicide Squad. The DCU was only starting out at the time, and a lot of the leadership at Warner Bros. Didn't look like it does now. James Gunn, the director of the DC Universe, was formally brought on board for the project in 2018, and Suicide Squad 2 finally began to move ahead after multiple ups and downs in its production. Nearly 3 years after WB said Gunn would be directing the movie, The Suicide Squad was finally released in cinemas and on HBO Max in August 2021. The Suicide Squad was expected to be an exciting development for DC films because several of the key cast members from the first movie returned for the sequel and because the new roster of characters included a number of bizarre choices. What's going on with Suicide Squad 3 now that the DCU under James Gunn and Peter Safran appears to be advancing quickly? The latest Suicide Squad 3 news. The most recent information regarding Suicide Squad 3 is regrettably not very positive. James Gunn has not yet confirmed the existence of Suicide Squad 3, thus there is no information on casting, a release date, or a production team. Suicide Squad 3 did not make the list of planned movies for Gunn's revived DC universe. Additionally, a fan tweeted the filmmaker to inquire about Gunn's interest in producing a sequel to Suicide Squad. James Gunn's response didn't completely reject the suggestion, but he did say, "I have some other stuff to accomplish first." Suicide Squad 3 is obviously not a top priority on Gunn's list, at least not for now. However, 2 TV projects involving Amanda Waller are included in his most recent DC movie and television schedule, DCU Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, so it's probable that at least one of these may influence Suicide Squad 3. Suicide Squad 3 isn't confirmed. There is no official word regarding Suicide Squad 3. They're taking it one step at a time now, as opposed to the original movie where WB developed multiple spin-off and sequel concepts. James Gunn has talked about producing Suicide Squad 3 with a brand new cast, but it wouldn't happen for a while given his current focus on reviving the DC universe as a whole. WB will likely wait to decide what to do after the Suicide Squad's performance at the movie office and on streaming services, but that doesn't mean a sequel isn't on their minds. The Suicide Squad franchise is still growing, with a second season of Peacemaker on the horizon. The appeal is that each movie has the potential to be a complete departure from what came before, offering aspiring authors and directors complete artistic freedom. Suicide Squad 3 release date. There is no release date for Suicide Squad 3 because it hasn't been confirmed and James Gunn is too busy reorganizing the larger DC universe. With the introduction of a new Batman and Superman, Gunn has the DC universe's future planned all the way through 2025 and beyond. So if Suicide Squad 3 were to be made, it most certainly wouldn't enter theaters until 2026 or later. Suicide Squad 3 cast. The cast of Suicide Squad 3 has not yet received any formal announcements. DC antiheroes appeared in both Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, with a few notable characters making appearances in both movies, like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag. Having said that, Joel Kinnaman wouldn't show up in a third installment because Flag has now passed away. With so many possible DC villain lineups available for Suicide Squad, there's a possibility that spectators would witness an altogether new team in Suicide Squad 3. Suicide Squad 3 story details. Rick Flag is sadly no more. Different iterations of Rick Flag have headed Task Force X and Suicide Squad comics throughout DC Comics history, and the same is true for WB's 2 Suicide Squad films. But now that he's passed away, the team will need a new leader. Peacemaker could undoubtedly lead the next Task Force X team given the post-credits sequence from the Suicide Squad, the Peacemaker TV series, and the fact that John Cena is a well-known celebrity globally. As long as Amanda Waller's objectives are consistent with peace and American interests, Peacemaker is the ideal soldier and would submit to her at all costs. It's tough to predict what the next story might be after that. It's possible that the Starro Project will come back to haunt the American government, but it would be pointless to revisit that subject now that Starro is no longer alive. More likely, a task that is completely unrelated to this one will take precedence. Suicide Squad 3 trailer. There isn't a Suicide Squad 3 trailer as of yet. The third DC Universe film hasn't been confirmed, and James Gunn doesn't currently have it planned. Therefore, no trailer, advertising art, or BTS photos are accessible until Suicide Squad 3 is formally approved. Sadly, viewers will have to wait until Gunn revisits the subject and considers returning to the franchise. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.